All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Here we go, finishing up some last couple things for topic 4. Okay, again, we are working topic 4 functions. We are on student activity sheet 4, and in the sections called exploring graphs. Okay, so in this section, we're going to kind of look at the tables and charts that you can see on your screen here that we made on student activity sheet 3. And we're going to take them and transfer them into graphs and see what that information shows us. Okay, so let's get going here. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do here, guys, is I want to talk about taking that information and putting it on the graph. Well, one of the first things we're going to have to do is actually label this graph. But before I do that, I want to give a little bit of a recap about independent and dependent variables. Okay, so with this, we know independent variables, this should be review. Independent variables always go on the x-axis. Dependent variables always go on the y-axis. With that, here is my little hint to you. Circle it, star it, highlight it, do whatever you need to know so that it helps you remember that total cost is always going to be the dependent variable. Okay. Total is always going to be dependent. So right here, I can tell you that total goes on the y-axis. So over here on my screen, I'm going to sit here and say, which one of these is total? Well, that's going to be my cost in dollars, y-axis. And then I'm going to go over here and say my number of roses ordered is going to go on the x-axis. That's my independent. The number that I order doesn't depend on anything. It's my total cost that depends on the number that I order. Okay. So that's what we should have there. Okay. So again, this just goes back and reminds you guys about the independent, dependent variables. But again, I've got a little bit of a reminder for you here. Domain, again, maybe I should highlight this. Domain pairs with our independent variables, which are our x values. Okay. Range. Range pairs with our dependent variables, and those, as a reminder, are our y values. Okay. So here, they want us to think of what the domain and the range would be if we were ordering from the Roses Are Red company. With that said, the Roses Are Red, if you guys remember, they had a $20 service fee. Okay. And then they also charged 75 cents per rose. Okay. Put that there as a reminder. Okay. So let's talk about that. For our domain, again, that would be our X values. Okay. So that's going to be our numbers that go down here. What could those be? Well, we could order 0 roses, meaning none, or we could order more. But as a reminder, guys, we can't order like a half a rose, a third of a rose. Okay. So we could order 0. We could order more, but they always have to be whole roses. And as a reminder, we can't order negative roses, guys. So with this, we would call our domain 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth up to whatever X could be. So now they want to know what values make sense for the cost of the rose. That's going to be our range. Okay. As a reminder, they had a $20 service fee, meaning if we choose this company, even if we put 0 rose orders in, they're still going to charge us $20, guys. So with that, we were always going to have a fee of $20. It will never cost less than that with them. But what we do know is that after that $20, that it's going to increase by 75 cents per rose. Okay. So with that, my fees, my range could start at $20, or I could have $20.75, or you could have $21.50, or buy another rose and get $22.25. And it could keep going on and on with 75 cents per rose. Okay. Let's go ahead on to the, okay. So let's go on now. I am on the back side on question 3. Okay, so with this, we now need to be able to make a graph out of the information for our roses are red. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first one. So if you notice, what I did was I made sure I labeled, I have the number of roses that I ordered and our cost in dollars. And then I went ahead and I looked at what the numbers were that I ordered. And I saw that my numbers ranged from 12 all the way up to 36. So I chose to count every 2 of these blocks down here by 6. So I got from 0 to 38, which gave me a nice view. And then on the side here, I had my dollars that ranged from $29 up to $47. So again, what I had to do was find a nice space of numbers that could be included. So I did, every line was 5 units, so every 2 was 10. Okay. And then I just went through and I said, well, when I ordered 12 roses, it cost me $29. So 12 and then about $29. And then I plotted each one of those. 24 gave me $38. 36 gave me $47. 32 gave me $44. And then 23 gave me about $37.25. And then what I did is I went ahead and I drew a line going through it. Up an approximate line, guys. I know it's not going to be perfect, but I also want you to take note is look at where it intersected. Okay, right at that $20 service fee. So now what I want us to do, ooh, there goes my lights. What I want us to do is go through and do the same thing for our flower power. Okay. So again, I had to go through and pay attention to my numbers. Again, we took the same numbers of comparison and I had my 12 all the way up to 43. So my bottom did not change at all. However, my X values did change. Now it doesn't even start till $66 and my biggest number is $81.50. So I had to adjust these. Instead of counting by 5s, I counted by 10s. And again, it got a little bit difficult to graph, but everything's just an estimate, guys. So I know if I ordered $12, it's going to be about $66. If I order 24 roses, it's going to cost me about $72. And 36 roses is going to cost me about about $78. And if I order 32, so I'm going to back down a little bit. If I order 32, it's going to cost me about $76 here. And if I order 43 of these, it's going to cost me just over $80. And again, guys, I went ahead and I drew a line. It's again, ooh, that's really off. It's kind of hard to see, but it does show that it's going to cost me a service fee of $60, regardless of what happens. Okay, so now what I want us to do, and again, it asks you to draw a line through the 2 points, and I've gone ahead and I did that already. So let's go ahead and flip to the back to the next page here. Okay. I wish I could zoom this out a little bit. It's not letting me zoom today. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to see if I can keep both of these graphs on the screen for you guys. Here we go. Okay, so let's go through some of this stuff. My first thing says on both graphs, the plotted points fall in the line that is rising from left to right. So what that means is I'm looking from the left up to the right, and I see that it is rising on both of them. It is rising from left to right. Okay. On number 6, it says the shapes of both graphs shows a steady increase in the cost of the roses as the number of roses ordered does what? So as the cost increases, I'm looking that the number of roses I order also increases. Okay. My next question wants you to look at the shape of the line. Okay. So my roses are red starts a lot lower than my flower power. Okay. But if you notice, the line is a lot steeper, it increases faster. Okay. So I want you to take note that compared to that flower power graph, the roses are red has a lower service charge, but the cost per rose is higher. They charged 75 cents per rose. Okay. So let's go down to the next thing. So now, where does the roses are red line intersect the y-axis? And guys, when I refer to that y-axis, I am referring to where it crosses right here. So roses are red intersects at the point 0, 20. 0 roses cost us $20. Over here, where it intersects, 0 roses costs us $60. Okay, so that second point is going to be 0.60. Okay, what do those 2 points represent? They represent that service fee that they're going to charge us no matter what we do if we go for them. Okay, it's that service fee that they're going to cost us no matter what we do. Okay, next question. Jumping down. I want to know, just looking at this graph, let me find my other thing to, okay. If the team orders 45 roses from my Roses Are Red company, how much is it going to cost us? So I'm going to go 45, that takes us to about right here. And if you look over, that's at about 55. That's about $55 it's going to cost us, okay? So now, if the soccer team orders 45 roses from Flower Power, how much is it going to cost us? So here's about 45 from Flower Power. We're going to call that like maybe $85, $81 to $85 that's going to cost us. I think the computer on that question, I'd say more like 81, 82, but they apparently want 85. So we'll make them happy. We'll choose 85. So now we're going to work backwards. Roses are red. Okay, that's what we're looking at right now. They want to know for $70. For $70 from Roses Are Red. Roses Are Red, $70. So I'm going to follow my dollars now at 70 all the way over. And then follow that down. And that's about $65, $66. Sorry, roses. 65, 66 roses I can get for $70. So we're going to do the same thing here. How many roses can I get from Flower Power for $70? Boop, boop, boop. And it's about right there. I would call that 20. They called it 18, but I'm going to call it 20. Okay. So with that, guys, that's how I want you to see how we used the graph. We plotted the data. We made observations about it. And then we drew that line of best fit through those points to see and estimate what it would cost us or how many we could buy for certain prices. Okay, so here we are on the back side. This is number 16. While it doesn't say reinforce, what I want you to go through, I want you to decide which flower company should the soccer team use. And after studying the two companies, I want you to write a recommendation to compare the two companies and argues your support for which one the team should choose. Use your tables, use your graphs to help support your argument. Guys, this isn't just let's choose this company. You need to show me why. Why do they choose this company? Back it up with information, back it up with data so that someone doesn't just say, oh, they just guessed or something like that. You need to show me the data to back up the recommendation that you are making.